Hi fish fans, Anna here. Just thought you lot deserved a little treat. You've made it through the winter, or the summer if you're in the other hemisphere. You all deserve this gift of a free extra episode. This is an episode of Drop Us a Line, which is usually a show that we release on our subscriber only channel. It is where Andy gets a little go at hosting, so if you want to hear how that turns out, keep listening. And it's where we respond to your listener feedback. As you will know, as a listener, you're all far more interesting and amusing than we are, and so we read out your emails and you get our responses to them. We take no responsibility for any offence caused in the reading out and responding to those emails. And if you like the sound of it, then do sign up to Clubfish, which is our subscriber only channel, where we release lots of episodes of Drop Us a Line. We do at least 2 bits of bonus content per month, trying out various little new formats, giving you compilations, best bits that we've cut out of the main episodes, and of course you get ad-free main episodes. So sign up if you like the sound of it, or if you absolutely love adverts and you hate what you're about to hear, then definitely don't sign up. Okay, on with the show.
Hi. Oh, hey, Andy.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, I forgot to do my interruption. Do it again.
No.
Oh.
So, welcome to Drop Us a Line, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being in Clubfish, you know. We don't thank you guys enough, you Clubfish members, and we're so glad you're here.
Yeah, we're chuffed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you've been writing to us, some of you.
Anna also agreed. She nodded, but she just didn't say anything.
Very slightly.
I thought it all sounded really sarcastic, and I know if you guys sound sarcastic, I'm going to sound the most sarcastic, so I better keep my mouth shut.
So you've been writing to us some great emails, and we're going to read them out back to you now.
Great.
So it's a circular system. It's very efficient. It's very sustainable. It's very...
Well, you printed all these emails out, I noticed.
Yeah, but on double-sided.
Okay.
Double-sided, so I'm doing my bit.
Yeah. Size 25 font, though.
So we've had some great stuff. Can we start with a really cool thing we've been sent? We've sent a bingo card for our own show.
Cool.
Have you seen
Great.
this yet?
No.
This is from Roz Kromhoff,
Okay.
who has been working on a couple of other Sonic projects related to us, which I'm not going to give away at the moment because I think they might come into play soon.
Wow.
I know.
Okay, how exciting.
Okay.
She's working on something and she said, don't give the game away.
Okay.
Can I ask a related question?
Yeah.
Why is Sonic the Hedgehog called Sonic the Hedgehog?
Why? Because he goes faster than the speed of sound.
Oh!
I made that up.
And also, that is not a related question.
You used the word Sonic.
I used the word Sonic.
Pretty related, yeah.
I don't think that's a good enough reason to derail email 1 of the show.
I thought, I can't save this for later, otherwise it'll be really irrelevant.
The bad guy in Sonic the Hedgehog is called Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
And Robotnik in Russian means just a worker, right? But in the Hedgehog bad guy, he's like the boss guy. He's not really a Robotnik. He's like a bossnik.
Do you think Sonic the Hedgehog is capitalist propaganda then, saying actually if you put the worker in charge, everything goes to shit?
Maybe.
What did the emails have to say about this, Andy?
So we've been sent this bingo card by Roz.
Is Sonic chat on there?
It's a bit devastating, to be honest. It's really good.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
is it one of those things, it's like, you watch a TV show and there are these memes that come up every couple of weeks and you cross them out if
We're being
they
troped.
predictably say them.
It's agony. I'm just seeing if we've. I don't think we've crossed any of them so far.
Andy, can you explain how you play it? I actually don't know how you would play this.
Well, you get a bingo card, so we would all have one of these. And if James brings up golf, you cross that off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you make a line all the way through, you say bingo.
And does everyone have a different...
Everyone's got a different card. But this is just an example card.
Yeah.
So James says, how interesting, and does not in fact sound interested.
Oh my God, yes!
I know, and I hadn't realised that until I read this card.
I do know I do that. I say it when I'm moving on to something else, and I do mean it, but because I'm thinking about the next thing that I'm about to say,
I know.
that's why it sounds disinterested.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it disinterested or uninterested?
I think it's uninterested.
Uninterested.
Disinterested is when you're neutral on an issue, isn't
Interesting.
When you don't fancy stuff.
Stop it. Okay. Sneaky host book plug.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Andy uses an old-fashioned curse word. Brackets. Oh crumbs. Devastating. Dan calls someone a character.
Okay.
Do I do that?
I think you do a bit. I think it's when someone is a sex case, but you're being a bit polite about it.
Does that come up a lot? Sex cases.
But sort of histories, historical people will often have facets to their personality which are very discomforting. But,
Oh, okay, a character. That does. I feel like I say like, oh, he's an interesting cookie.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that
think
might be an unfair interpretation of this person. I feel like Dan would be like, this guy was such a character. And then I don't think it's always followed up with, he used to grope women on the train all the time.
Okay, fair enough. Anna says, obviously. Apparently that is
Oh, really?
a big thing for you,
Obviously.
Anna.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
You do quite an extended solo word. Yeah.
Oh, really? What? When one of you says something, do I go, obviously?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I should stop doing that. I'm really
What a
sorry.
catchphrase.
So let's look out for these as we go further into the inbox. So it's really fun. Thank you, Roz. It's great.
Oh, it's quite fun hearing them because it's making us think about what we do.
I think it's probably making us think too much about what we do, and it's going to collapse the show.
Interesting.
That's my line.
I just needed that on my bingo card. Bingo! What happens when you win? Do you drink something? Do you...
Dan demonstrates he is very much a wife guy. Is on here.
Oh, man.
No.
Well, that's not going to get a tick in any future episodes.
Okay.
I'm still with my wife, by the way, and love her very much.
There we go.
You can't cheat. I don't think you can do what Dan's doing here and cheat by mentioning all the things to cross off your bingo card.
Anyway, so it's great fun. Thank you very much, Roz.
Awesome.
Katie Miara writes, I wanted to share something you might be interested in. This week you spoke about L. Frank Baum's donut mishap, and James commented that he could eat 50 donuts in 4 days.
That's what I thought I could do, yeah.
I think you could.
I'm not going to back down on that quite yet.
3 at every meal for 4 days.
Yeah.
You can have some savoury ones, some sweet ones. Fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I wondered if you're aware, writes Katie, of the annual Krispy Kreme Challenge in Raleigh, North Carolina. The challenge is to run 2.5 miles. James, you've done sort of half marathons and things, haven't you? You could do that.
Yeah, I could do that for sure.
Eat 12 donuts
I could definitely do that.
and then run the 2.5 miles back in under 1 hour.
Wow.
Okay, that's doable for
I
sure.
think that's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year's winner, Nick Scudder, completed it in 30 minutes. That's very impressive.
Wow.
This event raises money for a local children's hospital. Is James up for the challenge?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Great.
When does it happen?
It's in North Carolina in the first weekend of February.
Oh, well,
Oh,
we've just missed it. Well, I've got a year to get into training.
Training.
I can eat 50 donuts every 4 days, and that should get me there.
Perfect. Henry Thorne writes, his email is called Australia Facts. Okay. He says, have you heard of The Man from Snowy River, a film?
Yeah, well, isn't it an epic? It's an epic poem as well, right?
Oh, okay. 'cause
Okay,
there's
no,
a
I
movie.
haven't heard of it.
Well, he just has 2 facts. And the first is Australia-based, and the second is more personal. First fact, the Craig's Hut, most famously used in The Man from Snowy River, was rebuilt in 2006 by a man called Craig. Very nice.
nice.
Because it was called the
Lovely.
Craig's Hut before that.
Is it a pub? What is it? A totem pole?
No, it's a hut.
A
It's
skyscraper?
it's
The
a-
Craig's Hut.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
thought you
yeah,
said
yeah.
the Craig's Heart.
The second fact he says is, my wife Ellen has hand-served the most Clydesdale mares in Australia for the last 3
That's
years.
disgusting. We do not need to know that.
She is the stud mistress at Arunga Clydesdales.
Oh my god,
Right.
so it is that.
It
I
is
thought
that.
she was a waiter at a restaurant or something and she had served it. Right. And I
it's-
thought when you said mares, you actually said mayors.
Yeah, I thought you said that as well.
It's worse. Mayors is worse.
I genuinely thought she was masturbating the head of government of this town.
That gold chain's clanking away. So I just think that's a great email. And I wrote back saying, thank you, we'll try and get that in sometime. And he says, I have photos, decent ones. It turns out that I think that's leading the females out to be seen to.
Right.
Yeah.
Rather than,
Okay.
So you don't have to get involved with any of
Right,
the-
okay.
So, Man from Snowy River, just to say, I'm embarrassed that I didn't clock it straight away, but it is an epic poem. It's by Banjo Patterson, who also wrote Clancy of the Overflow, but also Waltzing Matilda. So
Yeah.
He's a very famous Aussie
He's
poet.
yeah,
Right,
he
okay,
is
nice.
Hey.
the laureate of olden
Wow.
day. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Very nice. Ashley Smith writes, I used to be a voice/speech coach, and I've been meaning to send this note for ages.
Which one of us gets it?
Yeah, it's been 10 years, Ashley. This is going to hurt.
Reg- Regarding the pronunciation of Alan and Robin Thicke's last name, I've heard you all repeatedly pronouncing the E at the end, making Thicky rhyme with sticky. If you're saying... Sorry.
That's it. Andy's gone.
Well, we had a good run.
If you're saying it this way for comedic effect, please disregard this note. If not, allow me to point out the E at the end of Thicky is silent. Alan the Thicky even had a late night talk show in the 80s called Thicky of the Night. The title of which would have made no sense if his name rhymed with Thicky.
Does she have anything to say about the weekend?
I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. I've written back and said, no, don't worry.
What a shame to have missed that one episode and just been living with that.
That's why you need to listen to all the episodes.
Absolutely. Oh, here's a weird thing. I don't know if you've ever mentioned this on the podcast or QI, but I surely have to be wrong, as this is a very strong fish fact. But in case you haven't, there is an actual fake but huge coal mine beneath Birmingham University, built in 1905, made to teach coal mining to students. So we have mentioned that. You mentioned it, Anna, in episode 49. I looked it up.
Oh.
But the email is from Andy Murray.
Okay.
That's terrifying stuff, yeah.
He says, not that one, or that one. There you go. You know, there's a third Andy Murray. Have I told you this?
That guy.
No, sorry, there's a fourth Andy Murray.
Oh, wow.
Who's the head of the Stop the War Coalition back in the old days. He's a very prominent communist, and I was once introduced as him for a live event. I was doing a debate about war, I think, and someone stood up and said, Andy Murray is a prominent communist and the head of the Stop the War Coalition, and I had to stand up and say, no, I'm not.
Call yourself
did
an
you?
improviser.
You're
You should have gone straight up there and said, okay, guys, we're all together. We're in it together. But just give me a room. Give me an object. Hammer and side. Yes. Okay.
I got a text message the other day from an old friend of ours, Richard Turner, who co-creator of Museum of Curiosity and
Absolute
producer.
legend.
Yeah. He was a very good friend of Tony Slattery's, British comedian, for those who don't know him. He passed away quite recently, so he had a funeral. So Rich messaged me this. He said, I went to Tony's funeral and was sort of expecting a guy there to be called Mike Mansfield, who he knows. He had produced Tiger Bastable, which is a thing that Tony and Rich had made back in the day. But the funeral was organized by many who have only known Tony more recently, so they might not have known about him. But Mark, Tony's lifelong partner, must have told them to get hold of Mike Mansfield. Mike wasn't there, but I did happen to spot the world-famous human rights lawyer, Michael Mansfield KC, wandering around and looking a bit lost.
That's amazing.
Just a world-famous human rights lawyer not have better stuff to do than rock up to funerals where he doesn't even know the person.
He might have thought there was a reason that
That's very
It might have
funny.
been put in his diary from someone.
Yeah, exactly.
You better go to this.
That's great. That's so good. Sam Cavallaro writes, in the bonus drop as a line of January 2025, Andy wondered if there was a TV show where they followed an endoscope through a person's body. It turns out there has been some progress on this front. Someone we know, someone who was a guest of ours recently, has done this and swallowed a pill bot and filmed the whole thing.
So it's going to be like, what's his name?
Matt Parker.
Matt Parker
Oh, so
or...
close.
Johnny Knoxville?
No, the
Tom
Scott.
Right nationality, Anna.
What do you say?
American.
Johnny Knoxville.
Hank Green.
Adam Savage.
Oh!
Mythbuster.
Mythbuster.
Who came on stage in
It was
Melbourne? Brisbane?
in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came on stage as part of the Fish Tour, surprise guest at the end of the show.
So he's done that.
Cool.
There you go, it's fine. Christy sends a fact about holding your coffee. To stop it sloshing out of the cup, you should hold your cup with a claw grip or walk backwards.
Okay.
Those are the two options.
I've heard that.
But
Walking backwards doesn't sound like a way to stop anything spilling.
No.
No, depends what's behind you.
Yeah.
But she adds, I love this. P.S. On another note, a Fish episode from years ago inspired me to get a tattoo of Belphagora's Prime.
Oh, wow.
What's this?
What's
What is
that?
James?
It's a number, and I believe I'm completely going off memory here, but I think it's 1, and then 13 or 17 zeros, and then maybe 13, and then another load of zeros, and then 1. I
Okay.
think, but whatever way it is, it's an unusual prime number, I think.
Nice. Well, she says, I work in research and development, and I would love some little demon to whisper ideas for inventions in my ear, which I think must be related to the story behind Belphegor's Prime. But I just thought that's very cool. And have we talked about fish-based tattoos before? I feel like we have done.
No.
Have we asked listeners if they've got any? Lord, if we had some ink out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never do this, but I have my phone on me. It's 1 and then a load of zeros and then 666, then a load of zeros.
Oh, cool.
Great,
So
okay.
quite a big tattoo, it sounds like, for her.
Yeah, it
She's got
sounds
very
like a
long
one.
legs.
Maybe. You assume it's on the leg, Might be
Yeah.
a spinal thing.
Could be,
Could be.
a lot of people do 666 on their forehead.
Yeah.
So you could do the entire.
That's really nice. So I think that's great. So if we've inspired you to get a tattoo, please write in, send us photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never seen one on tour. That would usually be the place during a signing.
Right,
People
maybe
to
we're
go,
not
"Yeah."
cool enough for people to get tattoos. Maybe
No,
it's
I
like
think
bands
our
and
listeners are
stuff.
too sensible for that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've
no,
been
cue the
asked
inbox being poisoned with some really repulsive pictures.
I got a tattoo of President Garfield's anus on my anus. Oh, President Garfield's anus. It's on the bingo card. Amazing. We should all get matching tattoos like they did at the end of Lord of the Rings. All the, we've been working on this for longer than they were making Lord of the Rings.
Wait, Frodo and the other hobbits?
Everyone did, apart from I think maybe someone like Sam who got his stunt double to get a tattoo on him instead.
it was the guy who played and my axe.
Oh,
That
Jonathan
guy.
Rhys-Meyers. He
Yeah.
his stunt double.
But
Okay.
I don't think that's turned into a bit of a joke that he got his stunt double to do it instead. I think the stunt double was part of that gang anyway to get it.
But
yeah.
they all got matching. I don't
Sorry,
know what tattoos are.
I
but-
genuinely thought you meant in the plot at the end of the film before Frodo sails off to heaven or wherever he goes in one
I
last.
think J.R.R. Tolkien was not really a tats guy.
You
know
know
what
the ring, the one true ring.
Yeah.
It has writing on the inside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you could have that writing on the inside of your ring.
That's a lovely idea.
Yeah.
That's a lovely idea.
Oof.
Many have.
Pop that on.
By the way, we're usually accused of spoiling the end of books and movies, for which we apologize for. But I think Frodo sailing off into heaven at the end is we're okay this time.
That's
A really old spoiler without warning. It's on the bingo card.
Is it?
brilliant.
Yep.
Have you seen it, or did you just invent that end bit?
No, that's basically what he gets on a boat and he sort of goes to, to another world, right?
Sails into the west.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah,
basically
fair
what
enough.
happens, isn't it?
Fair enough. Okay, so we have ruined it.
Andrew Burson writes, this is about an episode, one of the recent ones, New Zealand ones, which I wasn't in, but you got Josh Thompson in?
Oh yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, he was so good.
All right.
Best step ever.
Okay, well, buckle in, strap up.
Strap on.
Strap on. I was at your recent show in Christchurch. In fact, I went up on stage and was the lucky winner of James's sexy quiz.
Great.
Andy wasn't there because he had more important things to do.
The quiz, by the way, you will remember wasn't sexy all the way through the tour, but it just got really sexy that night.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry to miss it. Andy wasn't there because he had more important things to do. Rude. So you had Josh Thompson fill in for him on the night.
Yeah, he was so good.
Did you know, cue sinister music, that Josh Thompson has links to the Nazis? Uh-oh, guys.
What?
Okay.
As in, he hates them.
No.
Oh,
Josh went to Timaru Boys High School. Timaru is a city south of Christchurch.
yeah.
And on the grounds is a tree that was given by Hitler.
Really?
Is it?
Yep. Because a former student, Jack Lovelock, won gold in the 1500 metres at the Berlin Olympics in 1936 and was gifted an oak tree, as were all other gold medal winners. When he returned, it was planted at the local high school and is still there today.
That's a great fact.
That's so good, yeah.
Really
And
good.
I guess Josh blacklisted from the show.
Heather Morgan, your most recent episode, 563, is not the first time James has shown his cards re hoovers. James suggested that most penis injuries come from vacuum cleaners. In an earlier episode from a few months ago, the listeners, they really don't let you get away with anything. James implied some sort of relationship between himself and his Henry Hoover.
Yeah, I don't own a Henry Hoover.
Not anymore.
No.
The restraining order it got,
The human rights lawyer took it away. So Michael Mansfield QC appearing for Henry.
Fair enough. I just think it's a funny trope.
It's a funny
It is a
joke.
funny trope. Yeah, yeah.
And so it just is the first thing that comes to my head when someone talks about Hoovers.
Yeah.
It's the first joke that comes into my mind, and I very rarely go to the second joke.
We've never heard it.
What is that? Tony is the second joke.
Here's something about, we mentioned conductors who don't use their hands. And you mentioned Leonard Bernstein doing his eyebrows.
Yeah,
Was it Leonard Bernstein?
Here we go.
Yeah, it was first time.
Because he was in the famous film recently.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Rose from Utah
Hello,
writes,
Rose.
bagpipe pipe majors always conduct without their hands because they are facing the other way from the band. So using their hands would be a bit, they're facing the wrong way for that. So they keep time with their feet. Dancing.
Is that like a marching?
Exactly.
Is it?
It's great seeing a pipe band because the conductor is right at the front who's marching.
Right.
Maybe there'll be a baton, but that's sometimes more decorative.
He should walk backwards because then he won't spill his tea either.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for that. That's a great one, Rose. James,
Yes, Andrew.
there's one for you here.
Great.
Martin Green.
It's about golf. Oh, green.
Well, you're going to be in the rough in a minute.
I got my Hoover back from the Airbnb you stayed in.
Oh my god.
This is something you said a few weeks ago. It was that Courtney Pike was the angling correspondent for the Suffolk Gazette.
Yes, I've had some correspondence about
you?
this. Yeah, apparently I got tricked by a gag.
It's a joke website, the Suffolk Gazette, and
Courtney
I didn't.
Pike,
I
right.
didn't.
Huh. But you did it. That was a massive list that you did. So if one was wrong, then was it all wrong?
No, it wasn't all wrong.
Yeah, so just one wrong. That's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
That's Dan's approach to fact finding.
Customer service at its finest.
It's going to slip through.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did a big long list, and Courtney Pike. I actually only saw the Pike bit when I did the list. And then Andy pointed out Courtney Pike is also a phrase. Yeah. And then I thought, what a brilliant name. And it turned out that it's so brilliant because someone thought of it.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. But as Dan says, it's going to happen.
No one's hurt. In that case, no one's hurt. That one's just fine.
It's like the time, we've all done this. Do you remember my big flub?
I do, because you insisted we do an advert at the top of the next show to correct it. Do you remember that?
The April Fool's one about the elephants in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't remember this. What did you say?
It was saying that all the major roads in Cornwall today follow the routes of migrating elephants
Yeah,
during the last ice age. And that's a joke. I should have realised it's not true because there aren't any major roads in Cornwall, sadly.
Hey, you were devastated at the time.
Oh, God, I was so gutted.
We literally did an apology at the top of the show.
Quite right too.
I should have just said it's going to happen.
Oh, well, let's have a Courtney Pike apology next week. Get onto it immediately.
Here's a great bonus fact about someone we mentioned a little while ago. So, we mentioned Dick Sweat, an American politician.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
remember him.
Izumi Kajimoto writes, I went to university with the former US ambassador to Denmark. 2 additional facts. 1, he was a triathlete. Dick Sweat is a jock.
Okay.
Great.
2, his roommate's name was Timber Dick.
No.
Not a real. That's a nickname, isn't it?
I don't know. I have not looked it up.
It sounds plausible.
Timber passed away tragically, but had a notable career and family. 10 kids.
Wow, you wouldn't have thought that would be possible, would you? With
Well,
his
Anyway,
assets.
congratulations, Timber, and thank you, Izumi.
Timber.
This never happens, I swear.
Andrew X writes, formerly Andrew Twitter. Sorry.
Are you sure it's that Andrew the 10th?
It's Pope Andrew the 10th. Writes, I was a little bit worried about the advice you gave in the Valentine's Day episode that immediately doing CPR on a severely hypothermic, seemingly dead person is the right thing to do. This could potentially kill them by pumping cold blood to their core and giving them a heart attack. From my wilderness first responder training, I thought this was a definite no-no, but on checking, current advice seems to be a little more nuanced. But you really need to be careful. And I think we can all get behind that.
So is this the kind of thing we say at the top of next week's episode? Or is that...
Don't base your... If your friend is in the ice, don't get your podcast out. I know there was something about this on an episode of Fish recently.
No, I'm going to listen from the start, otherwise I won't understand it.
It's not thicky, you dicks.
I've just got to send them a quick email about the thicky thing. So yeah, I think we're happy to set the record straight on that. I mean, it's nuanced. It's like really.
Well, in that case, it worked, right? Like
In that case, it did work.
Yeah,
So yeah.
quite famously.
So there we go. One last one.
Yeah.
This is good news. Woohoo! We're going to be rich. Woohoo! Yeah.
Lovely.
David John Welsh writes.
I'm a Nigerian prince.
Although you probably no longer need the money after the successful multi-million-dollar lawsuit with Lin-Manuel Miranda,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we invented Hamilton the musical,
Oh, yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
months before he came onto the scene
Yeah.
with his musical Hamilton.
Not quite right, but yeah.
I'm writing to inform you of another potential lawsuit.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah. I often listen to old episodes of Fish on my commute, usually at random. Imagine my surprise then on hearing the unbroadcastable material from 2014.
The unbroadcast.
I think that was a compilation,
Yeah,
our first compilation,
Oh, okay.
probably,
Yeah.
where it was sort of, here's the worst of Fish.
You only just
I think Alex
started.
hosted it. I know.
Can't believe we had enough of unbroadcastable material.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear you all basically pitch Is It Cake a full 8 years before that show made its way onto
Did
Netflix.
we?
No
Really?
way.
So David adds some nuance here, I'm afraid.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so the item in your pitch wasn't cake, it was bushes.
Is it a topiary show?
But the episode I'd listened to right before it was the Drop Us a Line in which you created Keiko. So you might... Oh, do you remember the superhero Keiko we talked about?
I don't remember what Keiko did.
Me neither. It
I
was
know
good.
it was the Keiko the killer whale.
The whale,
Yeah,
but
so
no,
it was.
the superhero Keiko was different, was not a whale, I'm sure.
Right.
Anyway, here's the quotes.
But it was based on Keiko the whale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here are these quotes from this episode from 10 years ago. Andy says, "Be the bush. It's just a load of bushes and you have to guess which one is a person." Dan says, "Camouflage the TV series. Which of these is not a tree?" So that's very similar to Is It Cake, where you're presented with an object and it's either cake or not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
basically the same format.
It is.
Yeah. As the person who brought this to your attention, I will expect you will want to offer me a large cash reward. I appreciate the sentiment, but I will settle for just knowing from where Keiko produces his or her cake. So thank you, David.
I reckon probably a damaged blowhole.
So thank you so much, everybody. That's our lot today. And just keep sluicing them into the inbox. We love getting them. podcast@qi.com.
Yeah, if you've listened to an old episode and you find that we've predicted something that subsequently happened, we really love that stuff.
Yeah,
Or any suggestion for how we can make millions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be useful.
we're up for it. And just like, I mean, thanks so much for your correspondence. And
So it's very sarcastic, isn't it?
what the way I speak?
Just with the thank you specifically. It's very hard to do sincerely.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you. No, that sounds worse.
Yeah, it's not. But once someone tells you sound sarcastic, you can only sound more sarcastic.
No. Thanks for nothing.
That was really good, Andy.
Interesting. How interesting. Bye.